Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to another video. I am Dashiell Rose here. Welcome back to another news-related video. Well, this one's kind of a bit. I feel like it's gonna be. I'm gonna be talking about not just Google, but like the whole LGBTQ thing, and possibly where I feel like it's gonna end up down the road. I know that's kind of a weird introduction for it, but I mean that's kind of what I'm gonna do in this video. Well, first I'm gonna talk about the news part about Google and all that, kind of stepping away with the whole LGBTQ stuff. But then I'm gonna talk about, as I stated later in the video, about the future about this kind of stuff and where this is all kind of going. Now, if you guys don't like me talking about this stuff, you guys can click off the video. I do other videos. I do, reviews and all that. And I do gaming videos, which, by the way, are both more fun than talking about this crap. But, I kind of want to talk about this because this is kind of a big, like a big thing here and all that. Because of President Trump and all that becoming, the president again, So, anywho, guys, now that I got the introduction out of the way, before I actually start the video, remember, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that. There you guys can keep up with my, videos, and people who are still sticking around wanting to listen to this stuff, because, I do have a lot to say here. You guys can also subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate that. Now, let's go ahead and talk about this. So, if you guys don't know what LGBTQ is, it's kind of, it's abbreviation for, I don't know all of them, but L is like lesbians, G is gays. Got L is, lesbians, G is, is gays, you got stuff like that, you got, and then you got, like, stuff like, you got, like, trans and queer. I don't know what queer is. Isn't queer kind of the same thing as gay? I don't know what queer is. I don't hear people talk about that one much. I probably shouldn't even be saying anything, because I'm sure I'll get kind of called out for it, saying, I know people will probably be like, queer is not gay, it's this and that. I don't really know. I'm just kind of speculating what it is. I don't really know. I do know what a lot of the other ones are, and basically, My thing is, though, is, we have all that stuff, the abbreviation, and the thing is, though, is there's a lot of that stuff that's going around and all that. We have a lot of gays and all that, and then we have trans and all that, and the thing is, though, is, there's a specific month of the year, which is June and all that, which is kind of, actually, it's become more of a thing more recently. I don't know how big it was back then. I do know, back in the day, we had Black History Month, I think we had Natural Women's Month, we had Autism Aware Month, we had stuff like that, but I don't know if we had LGBTQ yet, or not, I don't know, but here's the thing, though, there's a lot of drama going on, with this stuff here and all that, and, I'm kind of wanting to talk about this. So, as you guys know, like I stated, they kind of celebrate this stuff and all that, in a certain time of month. I think every month actually has its own theme, and I think they kind of do this in America. I don't know about other countries, but in America, they kind of have their own themed months, because it's kind of it's called United States of America. I think they have each month like this to get people together and all that, which, I mean, is kind of cool and all that, but I'm there's like so much of this. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I can kind of see where they're going here. I mean, I kind of fall into that. Like, I mean, I'm gender fluid and all that, but I'm like, I don't know if it needs to be its own month. I feel like it would make more sense to have it. I think, is it March or April that's Autism Aware Month? I don't know. I don't remember which one it was, but I would kind of put it in there with that, because those are kind of special kind of people, you know, and all that. They kind of in the same category, you know. I mean, technically autism and other disabilities are technically, you know, a little bit different, but I feel like, you know, kind of putting them in there would kind of be instead of spreading them out in their own month, I feel like that kind of would make more sense, just because, I mean, they're in the same category. It's kind of like what is it? Like, oh yeah, Black History Month and all that. I'm sure there's probably other months for, like, other kinds of people and all that, but I'm like, wouldn't it make more sense to kind of have them in the same month, you know, and all that, like, and, you know, instead of, like, spreading them out, you know, like, I don't know, but my thing is, though, is there is definitely a lot of drama going on, you know, behind the scenes here in all these companies. Not to mention, you know, we got President Trump. He's now the president of the United States. So there's going to be some changes here. Now, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. In my opinion, I don't like getting political on my channel, but in this video, it's kind of political anyway. But I don't know. I don't think President Trump is gonna, like, you know, like, I don't think he's gonna destroy people's lives and all. Like, people are literally treating this guy like fucking Hitler, or even worse, they're treating him like the second coming of Jesus, you know, like, I mean, I'm not much of a politic person, nor am I a religion person, but I do know there's a thing where people are saying, like, the second coming of Jesus, you know, we have the second coming of Jesus, and you know, I'm like, you know, basically they have the whole thing where he comes back from the dead, it ends the world and all that, which, I don't know, I'm like, I mean, I'm seeing that shit pop up on Facebook all the time, and I'm just like, I don't really believe that. Like, I don't believe, like, I'm like, why the hell would Jesus come back from the dead just to kill everybody, you know? I don't really get that. I mean, I could see him coming back maybe to, like, if he were real. I don't actually like, I believe Jesus was a real person, but I don't really believe he was a person that came back from the dead. But if he really was, I don't think he would probably, like, kill everybody. He probably would try to get people to be equal again, you know, like, instead of fighting, you know, but I don't know, but that's kind of what they do. They're treating it like it's the fucking end of the world. Yeah, people leaving the damn country. Heck, I'm gonna say this right now. My own mom, I'm not kidding, my own mom is talking about wanting to leave the damn country, and I'm like, freaking Trump is gonna be in office for like 4 years. 4 years. And then he's gonna be gone. And some people are like, you know, he's gonna try to, extend his contract and all that. I mean, I don't know if he can. I mean, he might be able to get past it, you know, but I don't think he's gonna do that anyway. I mean, he's done some stuff, like, I'm not very proud of. Like, he's renamed Gulf of Mexico to, like, Gulf of America and all that. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't really know. Like, I mean, I'm not very happy he changed the name, but at the same time, I don't really know, like. Again, I don't really know, like, what he's gonna do, you know? I'm like, I mean, maybe he changed it for a reason, you know? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I made a whole video on that, but I'm like, people are kind of coming out saying this and that. I'm kind of just throwing my own opinion out here. I mean, people are just fucking flipping out and all that. I mean, he's only been in office for, like, a month. Like, he hasn't really done a whole lot of anything. And some of the shit he's done, you know, I kind of would rather just wait and just see how it goes here, you know, just see how it goes, you know. I'm like, I don't know, but I'm like, I got people like my mom that are wanting to leave the country, because as she's talking about, she's not doing it yet, but I'm like, you're literally gonna leave the damn country because because he's fucking in office and all that, and I'm like, he's gonna be in office for like 4 years and all that, and that's actually a big problem for people like me, because I'm like, you know, I talked about this before, I think, yeah, I have, like, with celebrities from Hollywood, but I'm like, it's gonna affect, like, younger people who like going to school in this specific area. They're forced to move because of stupid shit like this. And all that. And actually, I'm an adult, and this is gonna affect me because if she does move, because I'm not saying she's going to, but I'm like, if she fucking moves, if she ends up moving and all that, like, to another country, then, like, how the hell am I gonna get a damn job? I'm not kidding, like, I can't drive. I literally cannot drive, like, I'm not capable of driving and all that. And, I mean, I don't mind living out in the country, but that's kind of the whole reason why I went up there, because I actually don't plan on, like, I plan on continuing to live in the country, because down the road I want to work on my comic stuff, but, of course, to work on comics, you have to have money, you know, because you gotta print ink and all that, you gotta make money off that, you know, especially when you're doing color and stuff, because I prefer colored, you know, comics, you know, like, I mean, I might make some black and whites maybe in the future, but I kind of prefer colored, you know, but I'm like, that's gonna kind of affect me. That's kind of the problem with a lot of people, is I'm like, yeah, you got people here that are like leaving the damn country and all that, and I'm like, why, you know? And I mean, it's not like it's gonna be much better. I mean, there's problems in other countries too. I mean, to be fair to technically, like, compared to the last 4 years of shit we've been dealing with, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know why people are suddenly wanting to leave now. But again, I think that's the problem. These news outlets, and not just news outlets, we got like YouTube and Facebook and all this, you know, shit here, like, you know, censoring people's comments and all that, and I'm like, that's kind of, you're training your audience to fucking hate somebody and all that, like, when he's been president before and all that, and I'm just like, I've had people say that he's, you know, I guess hates, like, autism people and all that, but I'm like, I don't know, like, some people are saying, like, my mom was saying something about him, like, having a speech and all that, but I'm like, I haven't really seen the speech, and people can make fake-looking speeches, too. People can do that, like, I mean, even back in the day, I want to tell you a funny story, actually. This is a little bit off topic here, but it's kind of related to this. See, I saw this video on YouTube of somebody making a video on like George Lucas here, and I thought it was actually real, because this is actually how George Lucas would actually act and react to, you know, his Star Wars trilogy. But they have him doing a video on The Force Awakens. That's what it was, The Force Awakens and all that, and how he would actually react. And it felt so legit. It literally felt like he was calling out the whole sand and all that. How, like, it's the third movie in the third trilogy in a row that starts out the movie with sand. Like, it feels like, you know, it feels so legit. And I'm not saying that's what they probably did, but I'm just saying they can do that too, because they were literally trying really hard to get Trump out of office. And again, I don't understand why, because it's not like he did some stuff when he was in office before, but he didn't do a whole lot of shit. Like he didn't really fix we're still having problems with the damn health care. The insurance is still screwed up. I mean, we were stuck paying more for insurance than we were back then. But I'm just like, my mom is like one of those people too, you know, like that's calling out him and saying like he's got to take away your like insurance and all that, and like this and that, or like your disability and all that. And that's the thing. I'm like, that's kind of what they were doing before. I'm not even kidding. I'm not kidding. Like I was going to the dentist, and they were, like, my insurance was not covering, because I had Medicaid, it was not covering, like, my dentist, so, as well, so I was starting to, I mean, I still wasn't having to pay out of pocket, but I was starting to pay for, like, like $50 every time I went to the dentist. So it was starting to charge me, And the same thing with my dad. My dad technically has problems too, and I feel like he deserves to be on Medicaid too, but he doesn't qualify because he makes too much money. And I mean, I get you've got to make a certain amount of money, but I'm like, for insurance, I mean, disability I can understand, but insurance, I'm like, that's a bit different, I'm like what the hell is the point of having fucking insurance if you're still paying all this money, I mean, he would have to pay more, but honestly, a lot of times he was paying for fucking health care and all that shit anyway for his doctor bills and out of pocket. Like, the insurance wasn't even fucking covering it. So, clearly the world was not in great shape. Hell, I mean, I will point this out. Went to the grocery store at the beginning of the week. Although we still spent around $500. We got a lot more groceries. And some of the food's actually going down. Not all of it. I mean, the milk's going down a little bit, but the cereal was like $7 a box. It's starting to go down. I'm starting to see it go from like it's going down to like $5 to $4 a box. It's going down. It was going up before. Like, it kept going up and up. So again, I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to tell people where they can and can't go, but I'm just like, again, I'm like, you're treating like the country was better off without Trump, and it was not. It was not better. It was fucking worse. And again, I'm not saying Trump, like I said, did not handle COVID very well either and all that. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is it was not better. I mean, you don't even need a fucking news article to tell you. You can literally go out there and see that yourself. And I will say, too, a lot of businesses are not doing very good because a lot of people are, not saying everybody, I'm one of those people that's trying to get a job, but like I say, I can't drive, so transportation's hard for me. But I do know there are people, who can't, get people to work. I mean, some of it's because some of these people are selfish and all that, because I don't know if I brought this up in my channel before, but I actually went to a KFC one time in Fulton. I was grabbing me some food, and I was trying to use my gift card, and this woman got all pissy at me because I couldn't figure out how to use it. And, I mean, I wasn't taking very long. I swiped it once and tried to figure out how to put in, because I had to put in the right way. She grabbed it, and then she started cussing and all that. Well, she didn't cuss, at me, but she was cussing, kind of running her mouth and all that while she was kind of walking off. And I'm just like, I even flat out told her in her face. I'm like, lady, you're literally I'm literally a customer here. You don't talk to your customers like that. I didn't get too snotty with her because I was I wanted to eat my food and all that, But that's kind of the part of the problem. But a lot of it, too, is they can't get workers. That's the problem, too, which is why a lot of businesses are struggling. Yeah, we're starting to see a bunch of stores and all that closing because of what happened. And I don't think Trump handled COVID very well. I think he should have, when they shut the states down and all that, he should have, maybe did something where the businesses can still make money to keep the stores open, I mean, not every store. I mean, some of these stores still did very well, but I think mechanics and all that still had their jobs, but restaurants and stores, well, definitely restaurants were struggling very badly because, especially the sit-down ones, because you couldn't really go inside to get food. I mean, a lot of them you can order it to go, but even then, they would only let a certain amount of people in the restaurant, and even then, some of them still remain closed. So COVID screwed a lot of shit up, and I'm not saying I think Trump saying COVID was really good, he handled it very well, and he did not. I think he could have handled it better. I mean, again, he didn't want to spread the virus, but you should have had a backup plan for these poor people who fucking lost their businesses and all that because of this, I'm just I mean, some of them, I feel the non-chain stores, that might have been a little bit harder because there are some family-owned businesses, but honestly, too, they usually don't tend to struggle as bad as, like, I mean, that also would be the city or town they're in that would be part of that. But, like, a lot of these chains, like Ruby Tuesday and TGI Fridays, they fucking got destroyed because of this. I mean, they were already struggling, but COVID really fucking destroyed them. TGI Fridays is almost gone. They pretty much are closing almost all the locations down. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know, but that's the prime thing, though. I'm just like I said, I feel like, it's kind of just like, it's kind of like I said, I don't think everything was great when Biden was in office. I mean, Trump at least did some stuff, I mean, whether if you agree with this stuff or not, at least he was doing something, and some of the stuff, like, I do feel like prices worked down a little bit when he was in office. I don't think he handled everything well. But then we have, like, currently now and all that, and he's in office again, and people are already flipping out. And like I said, I don't agree with some of the things he's already doing. Like, I don't think, changing the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America is probably the best idea. Like, I think they should have kept it the Gulf of America, but like I said, I kind of want to see how it plays out first, Because maybe he changed. I mean, I heard something about they get oil from down there, but I'm like, why do you need to get oil from down there? Why not just get oil from up here? Like, why do you need to get oil down in freaking Mexico? I don't get it. I guess that way maybe they can still maybe they're getting oil from Mexico, so they're still giving Mexico money, but I'm like, I mean, it'll save us money, but we're still having to go all the way down there to get, that stuff. And that was part of another problem with COVID, like, we were short on stuff because a lot of our crap was made outside the U.S. It was made in China, Mexico, as I stated, a lot of things were made in Mexico, Canada. I mean, Canada and Mexico are not as bad because you can actually walk to it, but like China, Russia, and all that, you actually have to fly to those places. You got to fly to them to get to those places, and that's the problem. I'm like, we were short on stuff and all that. And I'm not saying you can't have stuff coming from there. I mean, some stuff we got from, like, Japan, for example, like Nintendo. I mean, even though Nintendo's in America too now, like, we wouldn't have, like, Mario and all if it weren't for Nintendo, and that was all, originally, from Japan. So, I'm like, so, I mean, we can get some good stuff there, but we don't need to get everything made outside the country, if you get what I mean, I mean, we can buy stuff from outside the country, but we don't need to, like, get everything made from over there, you know what I mean? And then, that's kind of the thing there. But I'm kind of wanting to get back to the actual problem of the video. I'm not talking about Trump and all, but I'm just clarifying to you guys that I don't agree with everything he's doing either. I'm just pointing out that how I think things are going to be a little bit better with him underneath there. But like I said, I could be wrong, but like I mean, I don't think I'm actually going to be wrong about this one because, like I said, we were barely making it, when Biden was in office. I mean, Biden was barely functioning. He was kind of he was there, like he didn't know, like he was there in the office, but he really didn't know where he was at and all that. Like, if you watch the speeches, you can totally see that, yeah, but I want to talk about the LGBTQ thing, though, is what I mainly want to talk about, because there was also, I don't know if I brought this up on my channel yet, but there was the whole thing where, like, no longer will trans people be able to go to the army and all that. And I don't know if I brought this up in my channel in the past, but I don't know. I think I kind of agree, like, in a certain way, like, because honestly, with trans people, it's kind of like autism, like, I mean, I'm not making fun of people. Like I said, I'm gender fluid myself, so I'm kind of in there, I'm kind of in there too, But like I said, though, I kind of understand, because people, are going to be more sensitive, like, to going to the army. So they want actual soldiers who can fight. Because if you're gender fluid or trans or something, you might, your body might not, properly function when it comes to serious situations like this. And again, I'm not making fun of people. I'm just saying that's kind of how it is. Because like I said, I am gender fluid, but I also have autism, and I agree with that too. But this is kind of where I'm kind of like also in the video, like talking about the whole, LGBTQ stuff and how I feel like it's gonna affect the community. Honestly, I'm kind of split on this. I'm on both sides here. I'm not like on the left or right when it comes to politics. I'm in the middle here on this. I don't care much about politics as it is. Like I said, I don't care about them, but I do want to point out that I'm kind of in the middle here. Yes, I think this shit has gotten way out of hand. Like, it has gotten way out of hand. Not just LGBTQ stuff, but like black people and all that too. Like, I feel like even some black people I know kind of, like, I've heard people say, like, they come out and say that some of this has gotten out of hand and all that. Like, I mean, we got people out there trying to cause trouble because of their skin color and all that. And I'm like, just because, you have a different skin color does not mean you have the right to, like, destroy property and do this and that. And it was getting kind of out of hand. At least where we're at, it was getting out of hand. They were starting to, like, I don't know about other places, but they were trying to use that as an excuse and all that. And I'm like, that's not okay. I'm sorry. And it's not like black people were the only people in the past to be, slaves and all that. Remember the Jewish people? I'm not talking about World War II. I'm talking about during the pyramids. Jewish people built the pyramids, and they were slaves. They were put to work. They were slaves. So they were forced to build the pyramids. And not to mention, people like me who have autism, they were killed back then because people didn't know how to deal with autism people. So, probably not me, but, very severe autism people were, killed because, they didn't know what to do with them. Women were treated differently, I think everybody in general, I think even, some men were, treated differently, It's just kind of, that's the thing, though. It's just kind of like how it was, So it's not just black people, and that's kind of the problem. I feel like they're trying to make it look like they deserve all this. I'm not saying they were treated very well. They weren't. They were like slaves too, and all that. And all that. And not to mention, they were not just slaves, but they were they were put in certain schools and all that because of this. But it's not like they're the only group of people that were like this. Even as I stated in the past, people wore glasses, people didn't accept them and all that, and that's kind of where I feel like I'm kind of running into this whole LGBTQ now thing, and this is kind of where I'm kind of in the middle of this. I feel like Black, History Month, and Black History Month I'm okay with, but like I said, not okay with the way they're handling the whole, slavery crap and all that. I feel like that's in the past and all that. I'm not saying it was okay, but it's in the past. What I'm saying is LGBTQ people too I feel like are in the same situation right now. It's not as bad, but it's kind of like it was back in the day where I feel like we're kind of getting to the point where people are not accepting all of them. I feel like, there's people out there that are that are okay with them. They're just okay with them. But then there's people out there that I've seen on comments. I've read comments. I saw some people post some art with Vivian and all in it. For Paper Mario 1000 Door, which I'll bring that up again in a second. How people were pointing out her being a guy and all that, and making fun of people like that, and that's bullshit. That's not okay. But my thing is, though, here's my thing with this is, I think they, I agree with both sides here. I feel like it's gotten way out of hand. They're pushing this shit way too far. They're shoving it in a bunch of media and all that. But at the same time, I don't agree with people either on the other side, the Republican side either, in saying that they need to keep this out of children's eyes in general. People are wanting it gone completely, and I mean, I don't think you need to teach this shit to people at school. I don't think that needs to happen. Like these kids are too young to be doing that. Like, it's like teaching sex education. Like, you need to be in a certain grade to do that. But I don't think you need to be going out there either and like going out there and going out there and basically, like going out there and like, trying to like, get rid of it completely, Because I feel like in a certain way, like there's gonna be, like I said, I think there's gonna be, people are gonna eventually, experience this stuff, like you can't escape it. There's a lot more gays, there's a lot more lesbians, there's a lot more of that out there. You're gonna experience it, and it's okay. But you don't need to be taught this stuff when you're younger, like you can bring it up, just don't go into severe details. Like, that's how I was. When I was little, I met my uncles. My uncles are gay. They're gay. I mean, I questioned what it was, but my dad and mama didn't go into, like, complete detail about it. They, like, they told me what it was, but they didn't tell me how they make out and all. And that's the thing, though. You don't need to know that shit. You don't need to know that, Like, you don't need to teach kids at school this kind of stuff. Like, you don't need to push it, like, this far. I mean, I get you want the kids to like grow up and accept these people too, but I'm like, but pushing this in like grade school and all that's a little too far. I think it's like not a little too far. I mean, way too far and all that. But like I said, I don't think they need to get rid of it in social media completely. I don't think they need to get rid of it in TV shows and all, and that's the problem. So people out there, like, I'm not defending Disney here, or Warner Brothers, but like Disney and Warner Brothers were really bad with this shit. I mean, other studios were too, but Disney and Warner Brothers were definitely bad at this. So Disney was out there, like, trying to push it on people. They were trying to push it on people and shoving it into people's faces. And yeah, I think it went too far, and I think it pissed people off. And the problem is, though, now they believe, that that's the problem, like their movies didn't do very well. And I'm like, that's not true, because there's other content that did very well because of this shit. Hell, Gravity Falls. Gravity Falls has a gay cops in it. I mean, they don't hint at it like... they hint at it, but they don't, like, officially say they're gay, but they hint at it. That show did very well. That's one of the top, 10, at least Disney, I don't know about in general, but in Disney's case, one of their top 10 best, animated shows by the audience. People love Gravity Falls. That had gay cops in it. I mean, they were only in a few episodes, but still, they had that. And if you want me to go even further, fucking Warner Brothers had Cartoon Network. Yeah, they had Cartoon Network, and they had Cartoon Network, and they had Adventure Time. Then Marceline and Bubblegum, or Bonnie, or whatever you want to call her. Technically Bonnie's her real name, but she had a relationship with her and all that. I mean, they hinted at it and all that throughout the show. I mean, they didn't really show it until later on, but you could tell they were in a relationship. And then by the end, they kissed, and people were okay with it. The same with Steven Universe. They had the whole wedding episode and all that. But that's the problem, though. People are thinking that they need to get rid of this stuff completely. Not everybody, but there are a lot of people that don't think they need to have it in general. And that's the problem. It's okay to have this stuff in there. This stuff's been here forever. It's been here forever. I mean, it's been there forever, and even back in I think it was I don't remember when it was there's a record of the oldest transgender person. It was actually a trans, I think, would it be trans dude or girl who was basically, it was a girl that turned into a guy. But that's the thing, though. This shit's been around forever. But like I said, you can't escape it. And that's the problem. I feel like it's going to end up screwing more shit up. Because, like I said, they need to fucking double down on, not double, they need to, like, cut back on this shit. They need to, like, it's okay to have it, but not, like, in every single show and movie. You don't need it in every show and movie. Just like you need to have, like, a show about a girl and a boy, like, getting married in every single show and movie either. Like, make it different, but definitely I feel like going too far with this is not okay. And that's the problem. I'm looking at this, and I'm like, what if Disney goes back in their older films? They've already done this. They've already done this shit before. And before this shit got big here, like with the LGBTQ stuff, they went back and this is only a few people bitching about it. They went back in their older films and fucking censored the hell out of everything. Like, even fucking the live-action Pinocchio movie, they fucking, completely changed it and all because it's problematic in today's world. I haven't seen Pinocchio that I'm aware of, but what I've heard is it's supposed to teach you a message about behaving. If you don't behave, and you get yourself into trouble, and that's kind of what the movie was about. Of course, they censored it. They did smoke, and they smoked in there and all that. But again, they were teaching kids that it's wrong to smoke. At least that's what I think they were doing. Like I said, I'm just going off what people were saying. But if you wanted me to go even further, they removed "Song of the South" too. And I've heard that movie was boring, but it wasn't offensive. Like, even in their parks, they fucking removed it. Same with Jessica Rabbit, they removed that too, because it was problematic, even though, like I said, nobody was bitching about it. How do you think they're gonna do this? I guarantee, I'm guarantee Disney's gonna do this. I guarantee they're gonna go back to their older films. They're gonna go back to their older films, and they're gonna go and censor, not just their films, their shows. They're gonna go back and censor, Gravity Falls or something. I could totally see them doing that. And I'm not saying it's a good thing to do. That's my point. Like I said, it's okay to have this stuff in shows and movies, just not all the time. But I can see them doing that. They're gonna go back and censor all that. And I'm not saying they will 100% do that, but knowing what they've done in the past, I could see them doing that. They could go back and censor this stuff because now this stuff is problematic. And not the others, and they're losing money, and that's the whole problem. That's why they need to just focus on making good content for all audiences. If some people don't like it, then don't. Who cares? And that's kind of what the problem with Warner Brothers too. Warner Brothers is the opposite. Warner Brothers didn't want this shit at all in their shows because they got very bad with this stuff. I think that's why I heard Steven Universe was getting canceled and all that because of the marriage scene. I don't know if that's actually true, but that's what I've heard and all. But I know they weren't allowed to do that. So that probably, I got banned in other countries, but people in the U.S. loved the episode. They loved seeing they loved seeing Ruby and Sapphire get married. They loved it and all that. But Warner Brothers didn't like it, and that's kind of the same thing with other shows too. Like I said, Adventure Time and all that, Princess Bubblegum and Marceline. I'm just saying this stuff's getting way out of hand, and it's bad. It's worse on the other side than it is here. This side's not as bad. The right side's not as bad as the left, but it's still gonna probably end up becoming a problem. But I'm not saying everybody, either who's a Republican, thinks that way. But there are a lot of people that do. They don't want kids being exposed to this stuff, period. And I'm like, this is going to become that's the problem. This is going to become a huge problem down the road. Look to it. I'm going to bring back the whole transgender thing with Vivian on Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. Because I'm about ready to wrap the video, but I want to bring this up too, just as an example. When it was revealed that Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door on the Switch, it was going to have Vivian transgender. It was going to restore her transgender stuff. People tore that game apart. They fucking tore it apart, and there were people that actually called out. I actually used to watch some of these YouTubers. I don't watch them as much anymore. I'm kind of not, I don't like agree with some of the stuff that have been saying in their videos, but I used to kind of watch them because they were kind of like clownfish TV. They kind of like, but now it feels like they're kind of getting more kind of, like I think they're kind of more so just kind of, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. They're kind of more like it feels more like they're kind of trashing on certain stuff and all that, and I'm like, that seems kind of a little bit too much. But I even had one YouTuber like talk about like this whole like pandemic thing and like again coming back and all. I mean, I'm not saying it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we have one again like in 100 years or so. But I'm like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm not saying it would be true, but like I said, I don't really follow him. I'm not. His name's not Jeremy. Well, his name's Jeremy, but I don't remember like what his channel is called. But like, yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. But I know he made a video on that whole Vivian and all that thing, and I know people called him out for that shit. And I even went on other people's videos, and I'm like, I even pointed. And not just me, other people pointed it out too. People were like, Vivian was always meant to be trans, and she was. She was actually going to be trans. But they switched her like they switched her like dialogue out in the American version because it wasn't gonna probably pass up here, and that's probably why, because of this stuff. And but they probably were like, well, they're pushing a bunch of this stuff, so Nintendo is like, let's use this opportunity to actually restore her character, and I think they did. I'm not sure. Like, I haven't played the game, but what I've heard is they kind of brought her character back. I'm not sure. I've also heard stories, too, about people saying she's a cross-dresser and all that, but I've heard people saying that transgender, like, they've gotten transgender and cross-dressers mixed up and all that, and I'm like, transgender and cross-dressers are different. Transgender people means transitioning your gender for opposite, and cross-dressers are just like boys who are, technically boys who like to dress up as girls, or, girls who like to dress up as boys, kind of like, I actually thought they used to be called tomboys, but I don't know, people don't even really use that term anymore, I guess, but I don't know, but I would consider King Crocus from Super Paper Mario, he's a crossdresser, he's a male. He even knows he's a male, but he's obsessed with beauty. He wears makeup and all that. Like, that's what I consider a crossdresser. I don't consider, like, Vivian crossdresser. She's transgender. Like, she is. And actually, for a long time, I didn't know that. But I was like, is she really transgender? Like, is she actually a transgender character? Or are they just, like, pulling some shit on the internet, because people do that sometimes too. But no, she's actually trans. But like I said, she was only in that. I said in the past she was only with that, in the Japanese version, and I think the Italian version. But other countries, she was just like this, just like a normal girl and all that who was bullied by her sisters. But I don't think they don't like push it down your throats. There are some stories too, where they push this shit down your throat, which gets really annoying, I was like watching people react to that, and I was like, once I heard that, like, that was gonna be a thing, I'm like, yep, here we go, I'm gonna hear the internet, like, bitching about this, and that's exactly what happened. Some people, like Clownfish TV talked about it, but Clownfish TV is kind of like, in my case, where I'm like, it's a video game character, who cares, they're just trying to restore something, like, why are people making a huge fuss about it, but, that's the thing, too, people are not gonna buy the game because of that, but if you're not gonna buy that game, you're not gonna be buying a lot of Mario games, because they have Birdo in it. Birdo's trans, at least I think she's trans, I've heard that they actually turned her into a female, but they actually just turned her female. But I've heard some people think she's trans, back in the day in the early articles. Now this is technically something I can confirm was true. I'm like Vivian here, like cross-dressing. They said that Birdo was a cross-dresser, basically a female or a male who thinks he's a female and all that. but did he get a sex change? Because if he got a sex change, then he'd be trans, and, I'm just like, I mean, I don't know, just the whole thing is so confusing, but that kind of runs into the whole LGBTQ thing, and I'm just like, again, that's kind of like, the whole thing. I'm like, if you're not going to refuse to buy Paper Mario 1000 in your door, you're going to be not buying a bunch of these Mario games, because a lot of them have that shit in it. They do. A lot of them have that shit in it. They have, they have the whole thing with, like I said, Super Mario Brothers 2, the American version, there was, two different versions, for some reason they said the Japanese version was too hard for Americans, which kind of seems kind of weird the way they phrased it, but we got a different version up here, and it had Birdo in it and all that, and we had that, and then we have, Birdo in sports games, and then Birdo is also in Paper Mario the Origami King, which I guess technically would be kind of split in Paper Mario fans, but I'm just like, because I know a lot of people are not very happy with the direction it was going, but I'm just like, again, I'm like, you're basically not going to be buying a lot of games all because of this shit in here. That's the problem. I'm like, you can't really escape it, I'm like, you can't escape it. But I do think some of this shit goes way too far. I think it goes way too far, and then I'm like at the point, I feel like it's better you put your foot down and try to do something different than try to appeal to a certain audience. And that's the problem too. A lot of these companies are going back and trying to but they're not course correcting. They're actually they're trying to course correct, but they're more so just appealing to a certain audience. They don't care about telling stories. They care about, trying to appeal to certain audiences. And that's the problem. That's what we're going to have a problem with. Like I said, Disney and possibly Warner Brothers, but definitely Disney, because Warner Brothers, I haven't noticed, like I said, they were the opposite with Disney, where Disney was trying to push this shit down people's throats. Warner Brothers was trying to kind of keep it away. They still let people do whatever they wanted with it, but they were if they put this shit in their films or movies, they would probably get their show canceled because, they would lose audiences in other countries. But Disney was was the other way. Disney was the left. While, Warner Brothers is the right, and that's the problem. They're going to go back and probably censor more shit now because, that's the way the audience is now, and that's not okay. That's going to lead to more problems. I'm just saying. Actually, there is one more thing I wanted to point out, too, about this. I was talking about how I do feel like this is getting out of hand. I forgot to mention this, but, there was also a whole thing where they had, for a couple years, they had something called Juneteenth, which was supposed to be, a day celebrating black, I guess it's supposed to be maybe the day they freed the slaves, but I felt like that was kind of unnecessary, because we have a whole month, we have Martin Luther King Jr., why do we need Juneteenth, Also, I heard stories about, I'm not sure if this is true, though. I'm not sure if it's true, but, LGBTQ, same way, they would, they were trying to, push it into holidays and all that, and I'm like, yeah, that's definitely going too far, and that's somebody who is, in that category, and who is autism, I don't want an autism day shoved into, stuff. I wouldn't mind seeing autism people in actual movies or shows, because I don't see a lot of that stuff. I don't see a lot. Apparently they came out and said SpongeBob was autistic. I'm not sure if he was always like that, because Steven Hillenburg is not part of the show anymore. But Tom Kenny says he is, and I kind of was watching the show, and I'm like, he's either bipolar or autistic, because I could tell. As somebody who is autistic and bipolar, I could totally see that, but I don't know if that's actually how Steven wanted the character either, but SpongeBob is so much different now, but I'm glad there's at least an autism character out there, but yeah, I don't know. But boy, this video was long. This video was very long, but like I said, I've said too, I'm in the middle here. I don't agree with 100% on either side. I'm in the middle here. I think they need to cut this shit down, but they don't need to cut it completely. Like I said, it's okay for children to see this on TV and all that, but you don't need to be teaching this shit at school either when they're young, but some people do believe that, and like I said, the whole Vivian thing, being trans, it set people off, and I'm sure maybe some people, because they grew up with that audience, well, I mean, they grew up with that, you know, not audience, they grew up with that, you know, game being like that, you know, maybe they thought that's how it always was, because they had been doing that shit a lot, too. They've been, like, shoving that down the people's throats. Like I said, Disney's been going back and changing their older stuff, too. You know, and all that. Warner Brothers has been going back and kind of, like, doing that kind of stuff with some of their stuff, too, like, because of, you know, appealing to certain audiences. Not really LGBTQ, like, with the whole, but there was that whole thing with Elmer Fudd's gun and all that, but I don't think they actually went back and got rid of that stuff completely. I think they just kind of, like, they might have banned some episodes, I don't know, but I don't know. But that's the thing, though. They probably thought that, but I never heard any apologies with these videos. People have made these videos and didn't apologize, and I'm just like, those are the kind of people I don't like. I'm like, I mean, it's okay to get misinformation. I do that sometimes, but like, when you're going to go out there and do this and all that, then you're like, you're not going to come out and actually speak the truth, you know, then I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna deal with that. I'm not dealing with that bullshit. I'm like, that's kind of the problem with, like I said, with, like, this YouTuber, you know, Jeremy and all that. Like, you know, he was like, I liked him, but then he, like, did this shit. And the problem is some of this stuff's not ending up being true, but he's not going out and actually fixing the mistakes. He's still, like, they're false information and all that, but I don't know, but like, he doesn't even say it is upcoming videos. Sometimes I just don't bother, like, I don't bother delete the videos. I just, like, because I usually just throw my opinion out there, but I usually say it in my next videos. A lot of these people don't even do that, you know, but I don't know, but I think this is probably a phase that's probably gonna die here soon. I think people are probably just gonna have to learn to accept it, you know, and all, I mean, it's like I've said before in the past, like, I've talked about this before, I'm like, it's going to be like the glasses, you know, that phase or something like that, where people aren't going to accept it, and then it's kind of also like we had the same problem with, like, girls being gamers. People didn't believe that, and then, you know, that became a thing too, and this and that, and I'm just like, it's going to pass. Like, it's going to pass. I mean, even people are made fun of being overweight, you know, now people are okay with it. It's just kind of, I think that's just how humans are. Like, I'm a human myself, and I feel like, you know, I've been through that too, or like I have to get used to something, you know, but I don't know, but I'm gonna go ahead and actually let things go from here. See you guys all later. Tell me what you guys think about this, you know, in the comments below, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.